Lifestyle design for business experts. The 3 questions you need to answer. If you earn money from what you know, one of the great opportunities of our lifetime is to be able to live and work from anywhere. This could be exactly where you are right now. It might be working from home. It might be traveling around the country. It might be living around the world. But how do you do this when there are so many choices to make? In this video, I'll share the 3 questions that made the biggest difference for me when I did my lifestyle design. I'm Jeff McDonald, I'm the Ideas Architect, and I've been helping business experts be more successful for the past 15 years. And currently through Anywhere Experts, I help them earn money from what they know so they can live anywhere they want on the planet, so they can live their best lives with their families. Today I'll share from my experience around working from home for over 20 years, being location independent for over 5 years, and traveling around Australia house sitting, all while I run my business. And make sure you stick around to the end, where I'll share 3 simple steps you can take right now today to help turn your lifestyle design into reality faster. A crucial part of your lifestyle design is to talk it through with the people that matter. Share this video now to get more value from it by sharing it and discussing it with the people that matter. To begin, we need to define 2 things. First, what is lifestyle design? In simple terms, it's sitting down and thinking about where and how you want to live. It's a relatively new thing because traditionally, where we worked was where we lived because we needed to be close to the farm, the factory, or the office. And this is particularly useful for business experts who either do their work in their heads or do it through conversations with other people. Now we can talk to any of those people from around the planet at any time because we have our laptops, we have our mobile phones, and we have that miracle called the internet. This means we can live and work from anywhere. Ultimately, this gives us a lot more choice about where and how we want to live. And lifestyle design is sitting down consciously, deliberately to design the lifestyle we want to have. Where do we want to work? Where do we want to live? Second, we want to define what's a business expert. And for me, the simplest definition is someone who earns money from what they know. This could be an author, a speaker, a trainer, a coach, a mentor, or a subject matter expert in an organization. Now for the 3 big questions you need to answer to do lifestyle design for business experts. The first big question is, who do you want to be with? This could be the crucial decider as to where you choose to live. And it will depend significantly on what stage of life you're at, whether you're young, whether you're old, or whether you're somewhere in the middle. There are 4 key groups you need to consider in your lifestyle design. The first, and perhaps the most important of all, is family. Typically, your family is more likely to live under the same roof as you. Either you've got children growing up, or you've got elderly parents who you're now supporting and looking after. And this might be the deciding factor. You might choose, oh, I have some older parents, they need some help, I want to support them, I'm going to live near them, or they're going to live near us. The second group is your children. Naturally, going through school, you're going to need them in the same house as you. Alternatively, if you're a young adult spreading your wings, you might want to be as far away from your family as possible. The next group of people to consider is your friends. And this is a little bit tricky because you're deciding what type of relationship you want to have with these people. Do you want it to continue face to face, or are you happy for it to mostly be online, either through phone calls or Zoom calls, or maybe even just Facebook chat or WhatsApp? But you need to sit down and actually work out, how do I want to interact? What level of relationship do I want to have with these friends? The third group are your work colleagues. These are the people that you either work directly with or you talk about business with. And they're crucial because they might be the support you need to have a flourishing business. This group may be the easiest to move away from a face-to-face relationship and have more of your interactions via phone or online. The fourth group is your clients or your employer. And they're critically important because fundamentally they're going to provide the financial viability as to whether your lifestyle design is actually going to be feasible or not. This one could be tricky because you may feel like you can't change your relationships with your clients, otherwise they might say, I'm not going to work with you anymore. But I think there's a simple answer here. If you believe you can obtain other clients, then this is not an issue for you. And if you don't believe you can obtain other clients to replace the current ones you have, then this is a business problem, not a lifestyle design issue. And perhaps you need to address that in terms of your business. Another important part of this is that you don't have to do this instantly and overnight. So if you make the decision that we're going to move from the city to the country, and you make it today, you're probably not moving on the weekend. It's probably going to take you 3 months, 6 months, maybe 12 months to put in a plan and then take the steps to make that happen. And this might be how you manage your clients too. Any new clients come under the banner of here's how I now operate, which might be virtually. But your existing clients, you might continue to meet face to face and slowly merge them into the new way of working. Some will come on board, some may not. And this will give you time to manage the relationships with your current clients. To answer this question about who you want to spend time with, my suggestion is that you write a big list of all the people that fit into those categories of family, friends, colleagues, and clients. And then you might write a comment next to each of them to say, here's how that could work. Here's what I'd need to fix there. Here's what I need to address. Here's the conversation I need to have to talk about how this might work for both of us. Also note this will change over time. For me, when I was house sitting around Australia, I was at a distance to my family. But when my dad went into aged care, mum needed a hand, so that's when I came home to help her out. The second big question for business experts around their lifestyle design is to ask, how do you want to work? Or more specifically, how do you want to deliver your services and how do you want to interact with your clients? And there's 3 clear choices here. The first one is that you do it all face to face. The second one is you do it virtually, like this video. The third one is to create products. This could be books or video courses or membership sites, something like that. This is an important question because how you answer this will determine where you can actually live, like it'll give you a distance or a map. So if you want to continue to work face to face with clients, that means you need to be close enough to them that you can travel back and forth easily. Another version of that might be you can continue meeting your face-to-face clients, but you might only do it 1 day or perhaps 2 days in a week. That way you're not traveling back and forth every day. This might let you move out of the city and perhaps live in a nearby country area. In contrast, if you choose to go virtual or via products, then effectively you could be anywhere and your clients could be anywhere because we can talk to each other via Zoom or digitally online or through our products. For me, my entire business is online. I haven't met a face-to-face coaching client for probably 5 years or more. The only face-to-face work I've done in the last 5 years is when I've delivered a presentation at a conference or whether I've facilitated a strategic planning event. It'd be nice if I could say that. And due to the pandemic, even that's going online now as well. The third big question for lifestyle design for business experts is, where do you want to live? If you could be anywhere on the planet, where would you like to be living and working from? And the key is not the choice of location. The key is, why did you choose that location? Because that points to a much deeper motivation. For instance, you might want to live in Paris because you love a big city. You might like to live on the beach because you want to go surfing. Or perhaps you want to be exactly where you are because you've got a great network of family and friends around you. Remember, our location does not depend on our work anymore. Also, it doesn't have to be one location. It could be multiple locations. For instance, you might go to the beach in summer, you might go to the mountains in winter, or vice versa. Or you could do what I did and house sit your way around Australia, or hook up a caravan and go for a long drive. One of my good friends, Patterson, lives in Christchurch, New Zealand. And I remember having a conversation with him a few years ago, and we were talking about lifestyle design and those sorts of things. And he's originally from America, but he's now living in New Zealand. So I asked him, how did that come about? And he said, well, the crucial thing for me is I choose where I want to play. I choose what leisure activities I want to do. And then I can work out what my work looks like from that perspective. And for him in Christchurch, he can ride his mountain bike, he can go surfing, and he can do his paragliding all in one spot. So given as a business expert, we can now work from anywhere. The question is not where do you want to work, it's where do you want to play? What are the leisure activities you want to do? And how are they going to shape where you live? Stick around to the end where I'll give you my 3 steps for how you can turn your lifestyle design into a practical reality. Let's wrap up what we've covered here. Lifestyle design for business experts relies on 3 fundamental questions. Who do you want to live with? How do you want to do your work? And where do you want to live? It's who, how, and where. My action steps are to make a list of the friends and families, the colleagues and the clients that you work with, and decide what relationship, what way of connecting with them in the future do you want? Is it going to be face-to-face, or is it going to be online in some way? In looking at how you want to work, there's probably 3 choices: face-to-face, virtual, or through products. And you can have a mix of all 3. To determine where you want to live, consider it from the perspective of the type of play and the type of leisure activities that you want to pursue. Here's the bonus tip. What are the 3 steps you need to take to be able to turn your lifestyle design into reality? If you've watched my previous video on location-independent lifestyle design, you might recognize these 3 steps. The first step for turning your lifestyle design into reality is to create a grand vision. I'd grab a big old-fashioned piece of paper, a whole bunch of coloured textures or markers, and start just jotting down a whole bunch of ideas, including the fantasy ones of riding a motorbike around the world, or taking a caravan and a lap of Australia, or house sitting across Australia like I did. Remember to include your answers to the 3 questions we've asked. Who do you want to be with? How do you want to work? And where do you want to live? I suggest there's 2 steps here. The first one is write down all those crazy ideas. The second one is to put something specific around each one of them and try to even put a timeline on it so they become more concrete plans and not just some fantasy out there in the distance. Our second step for turning your lifestyle design into reality is one I mentioned earlier. You need to talk to the people that matter. If you're going to be making decisions that impact other people, you need to consider their point of view at some level. That may mean talking to them directly, or at least sitting down to consider what might they want here. If it's your family, that's non-negotiable. You need to have this conversation. And you're probably going to have this conversation with your clients also. Just be warned, when you're talking to these people, especially your clients, they don't have the same incentive to change as you do. So they may be reluctant to talk about or even change the current relationship. A client might just say, if you're going to do that, well, we're not going to work with you. And then you get to choose. Remember, this is your lifestyle plan, not theirs. By all means, take on their advice, but remember at the end of the day, you're the one that makes the final decision. Our third step for turning your lifestyle design into reality is to think big and think small. And thinking big includes doing the grand vision, but thinking small is translating that into the first step. If you're planning to move to the country from the city, then maybe the first step is to go and spend a weekend in that location that you're looking at. Rent an Airbnb or something like that, spend time in the town, get a feel for what it's going to be like. Don't just go big jump from one to the other. Take small steps, give yourself an experience of what this might be like. And the same goes if you're used to working face-to-face with clients. Run some trials and tests and some experiments to see what that might be like doing it virtually. You might love it. You might hate it. At the end of the day, you have to trial these things and see if they're actually going to work. Think big and think small. Given you've watched this whole video all the way to the end, then you're probably either fast asleep or you've really enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed it, then hit that like button down below to say, hey Jeff, I enjoyed that, thanks for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.